All right, we are live for another CJ Curry Show presented by PrizePicks. Thank you so much for joining. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. We're building these subscribers this NBA season. We are on our way to 7,000 subscribers. So Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for all the likes. We went over 100 likes on yesterday's stream. Let's see if we could go over 100 likes again. I did do a giveaway yesterday, as I mentioned at the end of the show yesterday. I'll mention it now so that you guys kind of, who are tuning in at the beginning can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Basically, leave your favorite prop after this video goes up. Once the replay goes live on YouTube, leave your favorite prop down in the comment section below. Make sure you're subscribed and like today's video for your chance to win a risk-free entry on PrizePicks to claim $100. So basically it's a 2-pick power play. You get both picks right, you get $100 in promo credits instantly on your PrizePicks account. So all you have to do, leave your favorite prop in the comment section. Once the replay goes live, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you like, and that's all you have to do to enter. And we'll give away another free entry today over on PrizePicks. Yeah, guys, yesterday was a rough night for yours truly and for a lot of people who decided to dabble in those NBA streets yesterday. We had a lot of impactful injury news, some stuff that we thought was going to happen, then didn't happen. What I'm talking about is like SGA. We thought maybe he was going to be out with Josh Giddey, but then he ended up being ruled in. That kind of threw things for a loop on the OKC side. And then we had a whole bunch of other crazy madness go on throughout the night. The Phoenix Suns ended up blowing out Golden State. I don't think anybody saw that coming. We knew it was going to be a high-scoring game potentially, but it looked like the spread was going to stay tight, stay close. Game ended up turning into a blowout. I had DeAndre Ayton going for more than 17.5 points. He would have gotten there, but got into foul trouble, man. Same thing with Kristaps Porzingis, was dealing with foul trouble all game long, and so some of the picks that I was on that looked really good did not end up working out. And on top of that, we had a couple of not so crunchy, crispy tacos yesterday. Let's just put it that way. Bradley Beal got injured, I guess, sometime in the first quarter. Sat out, the entire first half from there on. Came back in the third. Had a pretty strong second half, but that was not enough for us to get the job done on that Bradley Beal taco. And then, of course, the Steph Curry taco. I've never been a guy who likes curry on my tacos. I prefer some chili powder. But, what are we going to do? We're going to bounce back. That's all we can do, right? We can put yesterday behind us and we can focus on the future, which is tonight's NBA slate. A lot more games, a lot more ways to go. Hopefully, we're going to, uncover some value on today's show. So let's run through the chat. Shout out to Roy. Roy's in the building. Ronald Green says, what's up? Mac B is here. He says, let's get this bread. Smash that like button. Appreciate you, Mr. Mac B. Ray says, my bad on the Zingas, Pingus, rebounds plus assists. No, it's not your bad, Ray. We cannot control things like foul trouble. And really, the only time Porzingis has not hit that rebounds plus assist prop is when he is in foul trouble. He was in foul trouble against Chicago. He was in foul trouble last night against Detroit. Listen, some of these things are out of our control, guys. It's gambling. It turns out it's really hard to figure out what a professional athlete is going to do in a sporting event, in a contest, in a game. It's difficult. All right, let's just call it what it is. There are no locks, right? We have to set realistic expectations. Things like injuries happen. See Bradley Beal. Things like foul trouble happen. See like Porzingis and DeAndre Ayton. I mean, guys can just have bad nights at times. It is what it is. Do not beat yourself up, Ray. That is not your bad. That is not your bad. It's not that he didn't get the minutes. He would have gotten the minutes, but he couldn't keep his hands to himself. Porzingis was fouling again. He had 5 fouls, did not foul out. Rumsey says, Taco Tuesday stocks are down. I hear you on that one. Mike says, ooh-wee. Thank you for being here, Mike. Jimmy Green's in the building. Jeff says, Vucevic versus the Pacers tonight. Well, I haven't really seen too many Vucevic props just yet, but the fantasy score could be a way to go. I think that was the only one they had up on the board as of this moment. King United says, that wasn't Taco Tuesday. That was Choco Tuesday. Little chalky taco. No. Yeah, they were kind of stale, huh? But we vote on those, guys, so we got to do a better job voting. We got to do a better job voting on these tacos. When you go into the PrizePicks Discord, when you go to the PrizePicks Twitter, we have to make an impact when it comes to these taco votes, all right? They're not picking the tacos for us. They're letting us pick the tacos. So we got to do a better job voting. Luka Doncic was the right taco, by the way. Luka ended up having a big night and went over his points prop. His taco would have been 27.5. That would have slapped. That would have been a tasty taco. But, such is life. We didn't get the Luka taco. We got the Bradley Beal taco. But yeah, we just got to do a better job voting these tacos in. Why the Bradley Beal taco was voted on in a close margin like that, I don't know. Take Luka Doncic next time. Let's just go with that. Everyday Fantasy says, greeting fam, 3 for 4 on the community plays, including the super chat with the bump on Spencer Dinwiddie. Let's go get it again. Today with the chef. You flex, I flex back. I see you, Everyday Fantasy, a.k.a. my man Don P. Tony Ruiz says, good afternoon, and Taco Tuesday was a gas station taco at 11 p.m., which had been there all day. That sounds about right. Hit that like button. Appreciate you reminding the good folks who are watching. Official M23 Dog says, long live Bruce Lee. Don't know what that has to do with anything, but you're right. Long live Bruce Lee. Third Party Action says, hit the like button. Jimmy says, Clarkson under assists. It will be bumped soon. You think so? Is today the day we go under on Jordan Clarkson's assists? He's running it back in a game against the Houston Rockets tonight. Did not cover the assist at 4.5 in the last game. We're going to talk about some Jordan Clarkson. James says, last night I was 0 for 3. You are not alone. We are all in that bad beat boat together, my friend. James, we're going to bounce back tonight and make it a better night. Drew Bree says, man, what's the deal? Let's get this bread. I see you, brother. You flex. I'm flexing back. Thomas says, what's up, Curry? It's Calvin Ridley from Patreon. Listen, I know who you are, man. I know who you are, Calvin. Young Lido, yo, what's up, y'all? Let's make some money today. Shout out to Young Lido for being here. Save your picks for the end, guys. I want to help you guys research some of these picks. Save them to the end, though. And if you want to guarantee that your question is brought up on today's show, super chat. It helps support the channel, and it guarantees that your question will be answered by yours truly. So definitely hold off on those props till the end here. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to have to go scrolling back through the comments to find it. All right. So that's why I'm saying hold off. Andrew says, we don't talk about yesterday. Ashashi Rodriguez says, yesterday was great. LOL. I think that's sarcasm. I don't know, but I'm sensing sarcasm through the chat. I'm sensing some sarcasm there from you, my friend. Riley's in the building. Shout out to you. Yeah, maybe some Tyler Herro first half is in play again. We got to see that number. First. Kellen says, you don't like curry, but your last name is Curry. I don't like curry in my tacos, like the seasoning, the spice curry. I'm not a curry taco type of guy. Give me the chili powder or the taco seasoning. Warking 107. What's up, everyone? What's up to you? Osmosis is in the building. Shout out to Osmosis Jones. Egan says, let's go. Jojo Rabbit, it's gambling. It's gambling. It is absolutely gambling, my friends. In case you didn't know what game we're playing, it is called the gambling game. It is gambling. Faux show. Faux shizzle. Jeremiah, shout out to you. Isaiah Stewart pushed. Was that for fantasy score? Maybe you're talking about fantasy score. We looked at that one pretty deeply yesterday, Kev Briggs. Maybe you're talking about that fantasy score prop. Taylor Gangas says, one thing that is a lock is Paolo Banchero being our fearless rookie leader. That's right. Shout out Magic. Agent Zero says, hi, CJ. Today I'm betting the under on points on the player who has more fouls than field goal attempts. All right. I don't know what that means. Oh, but okay. Let's see. I think that's about it, man. Shout out to everybody who's joining me. Appreciate all the likes. Thanks for the support. Jonathan Bishop says, long time no see. Feels good to be back. Feels good to be back, Jonathan. I see you out there, my friend. I see you. What's up, GOAT? Christian, what's up back at you? DOB, Brady Bear. It's liking some Pat Beverly. The financial advice disclaimer, you kind of missed it a little bit. Anyways, guys, let's get into some Poeltl, then we'll talk about tonight's NBA slate. Got a lot of good games going on. We'll go over the injury news. We'll go over the totals, the spreads, and then I got a few plays lined up, and then we'll take some of your questions toward the end of the show. So thank you, gang, for being here, and let's get started. All right, Poeltl, it's the NBA player guessing game. Today's player of the thumbnail player of the day is Paolo Banchero. Guy who's making his mark, making his claim for Rookie of the Year. Let's start with him. First guess is Banchero. It's not Banchero. And no, this player is not on the Orlando Magic. And no, this player does not play for the Southeastern Division in the East. But he is a forward. That much we know. They don't have Banchero's height listed here on Poeltl, but he is like, what, 6'10"? They don't have his age either, but I think he's about 19 years old. But they do have his jersey number. The player in question is going to be a jersey number below number 5. So we're talking what, like 00, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4? About the only numbers you can go less than 5 on. It's probably going to be 4 though, because it's within a digit or two of 5. So where are we going to go from here? We're looking for a forward in the East who is not in the Southeast. I'm going to throw a guess out there. And again, it's just a guess. It's just a guess. But can we throw Scotty Barnes out there? No, his jersey number doesn't fit the bill, does it? What about Pascal Siakam? I think he wears like number 4 or something. Oh, no, 43. Shoot. I don't know why I thought maybe Barnes has the single digit number. Anyway, we did hit a pretty nice guess here. It's a Toronto Raptors player in the East from the Atlantic Division, plays forward, shorter than 6'8", younger than 28 years old. Jersey number is going to be below 43. Now, I said Scotty Barnes. Could it be Scotty Barnes? I mean, that doesn't look like Scotty Barnes to me, right? The hair profile does not look quite right. Who the heck is that? Under 6'8"? I don't think it's Scotty Barnes. I'm going to guess it just for fun. Oh, shoot. Ooh. Wait a second. Scotty Barnes, I think he's got cornrows or something in that picture. I can't really make it out, but it is Scotty Barnes. I should have guessed Scotty Barnes the first time around. I guess Scotty Barnes got himself some cornrows or something. I haven't seen him lately, but I thought he had wild hair, like a little crazy fro going or something. But it was Scotty Barnes, guys. Sorry. I don't know if anybody guessed Scotty Barnes, but I beat you to the punch. He's a forward. He's 6'7". He's younger than 28, and he wears jersey number 4. See, I got him and Siakam's jersey numbers mixed up. But it was definitely Scotty Barnes. There we go. He says, we hit the Poeltl, so we're going to be winning tonight. I like that, man. 3 guesses on Poeltl. It's a good way to start things off. Let's run through some NBA news real quick. Speaking of Scotty Barnes, not only is he the Poeltl mystery player, but he's at the top of the featured image here on our NBA news page. NBA key news to watch, guys. Keep an eye on this. News is a good way for you to uncover some value throughout the day. LeBron James, probable. Anthony Davis, probable. Terry Rozier, doubtful for Charlotte. Scotty Barnes, speaking of the devil, questionable. Russell Westbrook is doubtful, dealing with a hamstring injury. Michael Porter Jr., injury management is questionable. Miles Turner, Indiana Pacers, questionable. And Devin Vassell, doubtful for the San Antonio Spurs. So those are your big pieces of injury news to keep an eye on. All right, let's flip it over here. Take a look at some of these matchups, some of these games tonight. Games get started at 7 p.m., by the way. And that's if you're on the East Coast, like your boy. I'm here in Tampa. Orlando at Cleveland, 214.5 points, kind of a low total. Spread is 8.5. It favors the Cleveland Cavaliers. No surprise there. Orlando dealing with a litany of injuries, including Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, Jalen Suggs, and Mo Wagner. So expect Cole Anthony, T. Ross, Franz Wagner, Paolo, Rookie of the Year, Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. at center. For Cleveland, no Darius Garland, Ricky Rubio, or Devin Windler, I think his name is, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen expected to start. But yeah, it looks like Cleveland's probably going to beat the brakes off of us, and we're going to go 0-5 to start the season. Who knows, though? The young Orlando Magic have been competing hard in games, and crazier things have happened, right? Atlanta at Detroit. This one's got a nice total of 230.5, 7.5 point spread. There's a pick from this game that I'm liking, at least one pick from this game that I'm liking. We've got Trey Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, and Clint Capella. And then over on the flip side, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Isaiah Stewart. All right. That's what you have to look forward there. One of the featured ESPN games, marquee matchup, right? Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks. Brooklyn hasn't looked so hot. Coming out of the gate, stumbling a little bit. Milwaukee was 0-5 in the preseason. They are now 2-0 without Chris Middleton in the regular season. So Milwaukee's handling business here lately. This one's got a total of 232. 3.5 point spread. It favors the Bucks. You got the likes of Seth Curry out. Keith Morris out. TJ Warren out for Brooklyn. Pat Connaughton, Joe Ingles, and Chris Middleton still out for the Milwaukee Bucks. So guys like Javon Carter, Grayson Allen should get more minutes. Moving it down here, 7:30 tip-off between the Hornets and Knicks. We talked about Terry Rozier probably not going to play. LaMelo Ball still out. Martin, game time decision. Keep an eye on Gordon Hayward. His assists have been good. His points and assists also could be a good way to go. Took that a couple games back and it ended up slapping. For the New York Knicks, no Quentin Grimes. Pretty much the same five that we've had all season for the New York Knicks. They're pretty healthy overall. Philadelphia at Toronto, another good game. No Melton. It might be a game time decision. We'll see what happens with him. So they got pretty much their same starting five. Keep an eye on Melton. For the Toronto Raptors, we talked about Scotty Barnes as a game time decision. With Barnes out, guys like Fred VanVleet's assists look good. Pascal Siakam's fantasy score, we took that a couple days ago, so we'll have to keep an eye on the news. This one's got a pretty low total, though, just 212 points, but a 1-point spread, so hopefully it stays close and competitive. We got 5 more games ahead of us here. Indiana at Chicago, 8 p.m. tip-off. Keep an eye on Miles Turner, game time decision if he's out. Jalen Smith should be the man in the middle guarding Nikola Vucevic. And if that is the case, then yes, I like some Vuce against the Indiana Pacers. Lonzo Ball's still out for Chicago, will be out for a while. Devin Vassell, game time decision for the San Antonio Spurs in his absence. Keldon Johnson will probably ball out. So I like him against Minnesota. 233.5 points, one of the highest totals on today's slate. 9-point spread. It favors the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are mostly healthy, but I am fading the Minnesota Timberwolves for the time being. I can't figure them out. If you can figure them out and you have a good feel for what the T-Wolves players are going to do from one game to the next, God bless you, because I cannot seem to figure out who's going to be, their scorer or who's going to be rebounding. I know Gobert's pulling in rebounds, but I don't know. One of the more frustrating teams right now, so I'm staying away from the T-Wolves. Houston Rockets, Utah Jazz. This one's also got a sky-high total, 233. 7-point spread right now. No Jayshawn Tate. He's a game time decision. Fernando, Şengün, and Washington all out for Houston. I jumped on Jabari Smith's rebounds the other night. I might jump on them again, depending on the number. That could be a good way to go. And then for the Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson is somebody that I'm kind of interested in going back to after a little bit of a down game against Houston, just because Houston's backcourt has been so bad. They've been allowing a ton of points, a ton of rebounds and assists to guards. So we'll take a look at that one. And then the Lakers, we already mentioned AD, LeBron James, game time decision. Sounds like Westbrook's more on the doubtful side than the game time decision side. So keep an eye on that. And then up for the Denver Nuggets, Jeff Green, game time decision. Michael Porter Jr. would be a big one. If MPJ is out, I would expect somebody like Jeff Green to possibly get more minutes. Aaron Gordon would probably get a bump up. We'll have to see what happens there. And then Miami and Portland, late night game. We got a pick from the Portland side that I saw somebody on today. We're going to take a look at that one. It's Jeremy Grant. So we'll talk about Jeremy Grant in just a moment. But that's it, guys. Pretty big group of games tonight. A lot of high scoring games, some potential blowouts out there, some injury news pending. So that's what we're looking at, gang. That's what we're looking at. So let's go ahead and get into some prize picks, and then we'll talk about some of our favorite picks here, or some picks that I've come across just browsing around today. We'll look at them together. Got 4 of them lined up for you, and then I'll take some of your questions. Again, Super Chat guarantees that your question will get seen and heard by me, and I'll take a look and do some deep dive research. So if you want to get a question out to me, Super Chat's going to be your best friend. Hold off until I get through these 4 picks, and then, feel free to fire away on any questions you might have. I can't guarantee I'll get to everyone, all right? That's what Super Chat's for, to guarantee yourself that your question is heard, but I'll do my best to get to as many as possible. If you don't play on PrizePicks, 100% instant deposit match still going on. Use promo code Curry to get yourself double your first deposit. Your first entry would basically be free, all right? Promo code Curry, link down in the description. And if you're not using props.cash for your player prop research, you should, all right? You could take like 5 different tabs or windows and consolidate them into one with the help of props.cash. They make all your player prop research nice and easy, lemon squeezy, all in just one place here. So check out props.cash, 25% off your first month with code Curry. Again, a link awaits you down in the description of today's video. All right, first pick of the day. is Trey Young at 9.5 assists. I saw someone out there on this pick. The way that they were wanting to go on it is for more than 9.5 assists. And I don't hate that because we know the Detroit Pistons like to play a fast pace. They are an up-tempo type of team, and I think that plays right into this particular pick. So let's take a look here using props.cash. We'll go to the assist category. We will filter out all games just looking at the Atlanta Detroit Pistons game. All right, let's go to the last 5 view here so we can kind of see more specifically the first 3 games of the season where Trey Young has dropped 13, and 9 assists, falling just short against the Charlotte Hornets. So my man is doing a great job of covering at 9.5. This does seem kind of low. When we take a look at the 3 games that he has played in, he had about 38 minutes in the first one, 37 minutes in the second one. He missed his assist prop by 1 assist in the 3rd game against Charlotte. 33.3 minutes. So that's key, right? He saw his minutes drop by about 4 to 5. I think if his minutes get back up to 37, 38 tonight, he should be able to get there against the Charlotte Hornet or against the Detroit Pistons. The 33.3 minutes was against the Charlotte Hornets. So yes, I think this one makes a lot of sense. One thing that you could do to take this a step further is take a look at the potential assists. You could do that using the NBA Advanced Stats page. This is free. It's available for you out on NBA.com. So what you want to do is click Advanced Filters. Go down to the team section. We don't want all teams. We just want to see the Atlanta Hawks. Click on the Hawks. Click Get Stats, right? And then you can take a look at the potential assists here. Now, it's pretty close. Trey Young, DeJounte Murray. But Trey Young is leading the Atlanta Hawks in potential assists. So think of potential assists like a field goal attempt. It's an opportunity for a player to record an assist, right? So Trey Young, 18 potential assists per game. He just needs to go 10 of, let's say, 18. And he's averaging 11.7 assists per game. So I like the fact that he's leading the team in potentials and needs just 10 tonight on a pretty good total game with a spread that's a little concerning. They might end up blowing out Detroit, but if they're going to blow them out, hopefully it's because Trey Young is dropping dimes. Now, if you don't want to take just the assists on Trey Young, you could go a couple of different ways here, and I don't mind any of them. Instead of taking just the assists, maybe you go points plus assists at 34.5. He's done a good job of covering this number as well. So maybe you think he has like 8 or 9 assists, but he ends up with like 30 points or something. That could very well happen. Taking the points plus assists wouldn't be a bad way to go. Let's look at that real quick. Points plus assists, last 5 games. He's hit the 35.5 points plus assists number in every single game, 36, 38, and 37. That's at 35.5. We drop him down to 34.5, still 3 for 3, 36, 38, and 37. So maybe that's the better way to go, taking the points plus assists at 34.5. What do you guys think? Are you liking the assists by themselves or the points plus assists? Let me know in the chat for those of you that are watching. Assists for Trey Young or points plus assists? Let me know what you like better. We'll look at a projection for both using Fantasy Labs. And I'll start with just the assists. Trey Young is projected for 9.3 dimes today. That's not a bad number whatsoever. If you take a look at where he's at across the board here, he's at 9.5 assists. Some sites he's a slight betting favorite to go over. It looks like most sites he is a betting favorite to go under at 9.5 assists. We also mentioned his points plus assists. So let's look at those. He's projected for 37.3 points plus assists. Guys, some value on this, all right? He's at 34.5 on PrizePicks, 35.5, 36.5, and even 37.5 points plus assists on other sites. I think that makes my decision clear. I'd rather go points plus assists on Trey Young at 34.5. That's the move, all right? That's where you're getting the value. So we've decided on that one. What about another potential pick here? How about Jeremy Grant for less than 16.5 points? Why is that? Well, you know, he's not exactly the first, second, option on the team. That belongs to Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, and he's going up against a pretty tough Miami Heat squad today, right? So let's take a look at Jeremy Grant real quick. I know you guys like playing the overs or like playing more on these projections and props, but sometimes you got to take less. And in this case, maybe going less on Jeremy Grant's points is a good way to go, right? Both of these teams, pretty slow-paced teams toward the bottom of the league when it comes to pace. So taking a look at Jeremy Grant here at 16.5, he's 50% to start the season. 23 against Sacramento, that's a much faster team. 8 against Phoenix, 16 against LA, and 21 against Denver. So he's kind of been hit or miss, up or down, right, to start the season. Now he's going up against a tough Miami Heat team who plays at a slow pace. So I don't know if I like his prospects here. Now this was from last season when he was with the Detroit Pistons. So we got to take that with a grain of salt. He had 21 and 22, played a much bigger role when he was with Detroit. He's with Portland now, so the usage for Jeremy Grant has gone down the drain, down the tubes. But overall, last season at 16.5, 59% hit rate. And we talked about this season, he's at just a 50% hit rate. So let's get you a projection here on Jeremy Grant for these points. He's projected for just 14.4, gang. That's pretty damn low. 14.4 versus the 16.5 on all major sites, all major sports books. He is a betting favorite at 16.5 to go under, minus 125, even minus 140 on certain books. And FanDuel's got him at 15.5, which means their lines makers think a 15 to 16 point outcome for Jeremy Grant is really the way to go. So I like the fact that we are getting one sports book, one site who has him lower at 15.5 versus the 16.5 on PrizePicks. So, so far, I think I'm liking, not this guy. Sorry about that. I'm liking this so far. Jeremy Grant for less than 16.5. Trey Young for more than 34.5. And then one of the other plays that's going to be probably more of a controversial one because he's not at 11.5 like he is on most sites. He's at 12.5, but still no Chris Middleton. Grayson Allen, a lot of folks are liking him at 11.5 in a very high scoring, high total game. But do we like him at 12.5? That's really the question, right? So taking a look again, just to remind you guys of the total, it is 232 points with a 3.5 point spread. So yes, they bumped him up from, I think he was 11.5. Now he's at 12.5. But I think he could still get it done here. The Brooklyn Nets are not a very scary team defensively, right? They don't play a lot of defense. They're looking to outscore you. So I think there's still an opportunity for Grayson Allen to cover at 12.5 points in a high-scoring matchup with a close spread in a game where a team like Brooklyn just isn't really all that interested in playing much defense. So let's take a look at this one closer here. And Brooklyn is visiting the Milwaukee Bucks. We got Grayson Allen at 12.5 on PrizePicks. He is at 11.5 from the looks of things out on the favorite sports books out there. So at 12.5, he is actually 0 for 2 to start the season. But that was against a tough, slower-paced Philadelphia 76ers team. Now, against Houston, yeah, he probably should have gotten the job done against Houston with just 11 points. But in that game, his minutes were down. He played 27.9 minutes as opposed to over 30 minutes against Philadelphia. So I think if we see him at 30 or more minutes tonight in a very high-scoring matchup against a team like Brooklyn, who hasn't been very good defensively, he's going to have all the opportunities in the world. Speaking of opportunities, his field goal attempts, 10 in the first game, 3 for 10 though. In the second game, 11, just 3 for 11. So he's not shooting the ball well. Imagine if his shot starts to fall tonight, right? Imagine if that happens and he's shooting better than 30%. Let's say he's closer to 40 or 50%. I could see some good things happening here for Grayson Allen. 2 for 6 from beyond the arc, 2 for 7 from beyond the arc in both of those games, 4 for 5 from the line, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. So I think the opportunities are definitely there for Grayson Allen. I think the game is one of those games where a lot of points could potentially be scored by both teams. Let's get you a projection here for Grayson Allen. Got him projected for 13.8 points. He is at 11.5 on most sites. So, gang, we are paying a premium on Grayson Allen here at 12.5. All right. could be a little bit dicey, but then again, if that shot starts falling, he could blow past this and have, closer to 20 points tonight in this type of game. Just taking it one step further here, like we always do. We're going to look at last season. All games played without Khris Middleton. Without Khris Middleton. At 12.5 points, he averaged 13.8 points in 25 games dating back to last season without Khris Middleton. So average of 13.8, he's at 12.5. It's not impossible. I know he hasn't hit this number in a while, but still not impossible for Grayson Allen. The shot just has to fall, and that's all there is to it. So Grayson Allen for more, and then one last pick, and then I'll get to your questions. I see you guys dropping some in the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for your questions. I will get to those in just a moment. Let's talk one more potential play here, and I'm going back to this guy, Jordan Clarkson, at 22.5 points plus assists. Kind of like Trey Young, right? Where you don't feel confident in maybe just his assists on its own. You could always go points plus assists because we know Jordan Clarkson's going to have to score the ball for the Utah Jazz, right? It's a rematch. It's a run it back type of game against the Houston Rockets. And this is the type of game, high total, against a team that's not playing defense, where Jordan Clarkson really should thrive. So I want to take a closer look at what happened to him in the last game that led to him not hitting the mark at his assists or his points. So let's start by taking a look at the assists on their own. Now, he had 5, 6, and 6 to open up the first 3 games of the season, but fell short with just 4 assists against Houston. The biggest culprit here was minutes. He played just 28.2 minutes, the lowest minute total he's had all season long. Had 29.6 to start the season. The next 2 games was around 35, 36, 37 minutes in the next 2. Fell down to 28.2 minutes. All right, so that's going to hurt him. He's got to be out on the court for us. He's got to be playing minutes in order for him to rack up stats, whether that be points, whether that be assists, right? So let's take a look at this one step further here. We're looking at his dimes. Let's switch it up from just the assists to points plus assists. He's got 15 against Denver, 35 against Minnesota, 24 against New Orleans, and 21 against Houston. So he's 2 for 4 covering this. So a slightly higher hit rate on the assists. 3 for 4 on the assists, 2 for 4 with the points plus assists. But I want to see his attempts. Is he actually shooting the ball a lot, a little? Like, what's going on with him? So in the first game, he was 3 for 9, did not shoot it a whole lot. Now, since then, he's been in double-digit field goal attempts, attempting 17, 19, and 14. Again, his minutes were down against Houston. We hope he plays 30-plus minutes tonight. We hope that those attempts go up and that those assist opportunities go up for him in that case. As far as three-point attempts go, he was kind of down on the three-point attempts. He had attempted 10 and 12 in 2 previous games. And then the free throw attempts, he doesn't really get to the line a whole lot. He's more, chucking it from the outside, so to speak. But yes, the Houston Rockets have been giving up a ton of points, a ton of assists, a ton of rebounds to opposing backcourt. So I don't mind this pick at all. Just quickly taking a look at the DVP here. Clarkson's going to be more the shooting guard. Mike Conley Jr. playing point for Utah still. But still, you take a look at both backcourt positions. Houston's given up over 30, nearly 31 points per game to point guards, about 5 rebounds per game, and over 12 assists per game in the early stages of this NBA season. So you're combining the points and the assists, and you're looking at like over 43 points and assists allowed to point guards. Looking at shooting guards, they're still giving up healthy numbers here. Nearly 20 points per game and over 6 assists per game to opposing shooting guards. So giving up a ton of points, a ton of assists to opposing backcourts. I think we could run it back with Jordan Clarkson here. Now the question is, do we take just the points, just the assists? Do we take the points plus assists? We don't know, right? We're doing our best to guess here, but I think for me, points plus assists, just because I know that Jordan Clarkson's got the ability to pop off, get hot. If he starts heating up, he could definitely surpass 22.5 on just points alone. Just points alone. Let's look at some projections. Clarkson, 17.2 projected points at 18.5. He is a big betting favorite on some books, minus 130. Minus 128 betting favorite to stay under 18.5, right? If we look at just the assists for Clarkson at 4.5, he is a betting favorite to stay under at 4.5, projected for 4. I know somebody in the chat had mentioned taking the under on Jordan Clarkson at just 4.5 assists. They said it's going to get bumped down to 4. They think it's going to get bumped down to 4 here. So I don't know. If you believe that person who said that, then maybe you want to jump on the under on Clarkson at 4.5 dimes. But I don't think I want to go there against the Houston Rockets. They're just giving up too much lately. And then as far as points plus assists go, he's at 22.5, but as high as 23.5 on some books. So you are getting a point of value here on Jordan Clarkson. So he's a minus 120 betting favorite to go over at 22.5. Minus 118 betting favorite to go over at 22.5, despite a projection of just 21.2. And then versus points bet, you're getting a point of value on Jordan Clarkson here. So what do you guys think in the chat? Are you liking Clarkson tonight? Are you willing to run it back against a Houston Rockets team that's like top of the charts when it comes to points, rebounds, assists allowed to point guards and shooting guards? I mean, they've just been giving it up to opposing backcourts. I think I'm going to rock with it. I think I'm going to go with points plus assists just because, again, Clarkson has the ability to get warm at any given moment. I'm going to put 25 on this, man. I like all of these picks. I don't know what's going to happen. None of us know what's going to happen, but I think we've done enough research and dug into these deep enough to where I could feel comfortable locking in. I'm going with a 4-pick flex. If I miss one, I still profit. If I don't, then I go for 5x, right? 5x my money if I go 4 for 4. You guys can choose to tail or fade. It's up to you. It's your money. You've seen the numbers. You did the research along with me. Do what's best for your bankroll and your account. All right, let's get to some questions. I see Roy saying Clarkson's a fade. Hey, brother, you don't like it, don't take it. I'm going to take it. That's what I'm going to do. All right, I ain't mad at you for not taking it, though. But the Houston Rockets are what they are. And I'm confident Jordan Clarkson can run it back. All right, give me your questions. I'm here to help you with all of your prop questions for the next 15 minutes or so. I see we got some new subs in the building. Appreciate those new subs. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We got Young Lechuga. Young Lechuga. Thank you, my friend, for subscribing. David Alcatraz with the sub, and Karan Pow. Wow, we got a super chat here from Everyday Fantasy. Everyday Fantasy's dropping some nuggets on us. Hopefully they are good nuggets, chicken McNuggets or Chick-fil-A nuggets. But Kelly Olynyk, 5.5 rebounds. He is at 6.5 rebounds on the books, but he's 2 for 2 against the Rockets, and he's being bet over at 6.5 boards. First and foremost, thank you, Don P, for the super chat. Means a lot. Thank you for supporting my work, the content, the show. I appreciate you being a part of what we do here. But yeah, we could take a look at Kelly Olynyk at 5.5 boards because, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for some value, and I think we're getting some value here on Kelly Olynyk at 5.5 boards from the sounds of things. Kelly Olynyk sitting at 5.5. Man, that is an interesting looking guy. All right, I'm going to be nice. That is an interesting looking dude, Kelly Olynyk. Looking at his total rebounds here, we're going to go to props.cash and see what Don P's talking about. Kelly Olynyk, no rebounds in game 1, all right, against the Denver Nuggets. 0 rebounds. He only played about 15 minutes in that game, though. 3 boards and 3 boards against Minnesota and New Orleans, respectively. Did play a lot of minutes, just did not find a lot of rebounds. All right, and then somehow he played just 26 minutes against Houston and came up with 9 boards. So very weird, I would say, right out of the gate. 0, 3, 3, and 9. The games that he played the most minutes, he had some of the lowest rebounding totals of his 4-game sample size from this season. And then, this game here just came out of nowhere, right? Came out of left field with 9 rebounds in just 26 minutes. So I have no idea what's going on with Kelly Olynyk here. It makes no sense. But let's go take a look at the NBA advanced stats page. We're going to look at the rebound chances per game that Kelly Olynyk's seeing as a member of the Utah Jazz. He's going to be sharing the floor, sharing the front court with the likes of Lauri Markkanen, right? He'll be going up against a Houston Rockets team that's probably going to be without Bruno Fernando, probably going to be without Alperen Şengün, possibly. We have to stay on top of the news. So it might be young Jabari Smith Jr., man in the middle for the Houston Rockets. And if that's the case, then Kelly Olynyk should have an easier time. But as far as who's leading the Utah Jazz in rebound chances, guys, it starts with Jared Vanderbilt. Surprise, surprise. It's not Kelly Olynyk, and it's not Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen is second, nearly 14 rebound chances per game. Walker Kessler at 12.8 rebound chances. And then you got Kelly O at 9 rebound chances per game, averaging 3.8 rebounds in that span. Guys, I don't know how I feel about that. Kelly Olynyk needs 6 boards to cover the over, right? He did get it done in limited minutes against Houston, but he's averaging just 9 rebound chances per game. Let me see if I could take this a step further here. Let's look at the last game, which was against the Houston Rockets. This is a back-to-back, run-it-back, rematch style game for Utah and Houston. So let's look at just the last game here. Rebound chances for Kelly Olynyk. He still was not leading the team in rebound chances in that last game against Houston. He was third behind Jared Vanderbilt and Lauri Markkanen. Jared Vanderbilt, 19 rebound chances, turned those into 11 boards against Houston. And then right behind him, you had Lauri Markkanen with 14 rebound chances, turned those into just 6 boards. He did not do a very good job with the chances, the opportunities to rebound the ball. But Kelly Olynyk did. Very efficient. 12 rebound chances, turned those into 9 boards in just 26, nearly 27 minutes of court time. So, I don't know. Do we rinse and repeat here? Do we just hit the run it back button with Kelly Olynyk? I want to say you've made a good pick, Don P, but I don't know that I absolutely love it, man. I don't know that I absolutely believe in Kelly Olynyk right now. But he is projected for a healthy 7.3 rebounds. That's a whole lot more than 5.5, gang. I'm not a mathematician or scientist, but 7.3 versus 5.5 sounds pretty damn good. When we take a look at where he's at across the industry today, at 5.5 boards, he's a big betting favorite. Minus 138, minus 140, even minus 148. Betting favorite to go over at 5.5. So that's real people with real money in hand going on to these sports books and putting their money on the over at 5.5. So there's something to be said about that. And then as Don P mentioned, he is at 6.5 boards on a site like DraftKings Sportsbook. At 6.5 rebounds, they're betting the under pretty heavily, minus 155. So they think he's going to stay under 6.5, but go over 5.5. So between 5.5 and 6.5 lies 6 rebounds. Maybe Don P's onto something here, gang. You guys in the chat, let me know. Leave a thumbs up in the chat if you like the over on Kelly Olynyk and you're rocking with the vibes on this pick. If you don't rock with it, leave a thumbs down, all right? Let me know if Don P's onto something. My man, Everyday Fantasy. Thanks again for the super chat. Speaking of super chats, my filler Arc says, thank you. And the mad lad who said on Monday that Tyler Harrow's first half points. I was able to make $500 on it. What's your thoughts tonight on Donovan, Spider, Mitchell, Nicholas Claxton, and Jalen Smith's fantasy score? Taking the more or over on all of those. Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. That's a huge super chat. $19.99 super chat. I appreciate you for that. So let's break this down. All right. He's saying, what do I think about Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland Cavaliers' newest free agent acquisition? Nicholas Claxton and Jalen Smith fantasy points. Well, I'll tell you just like right out of the gate, Jalen Smith is a wait and see for me. Because we've got Miles Turner news that's pending, right? He's a game time decision. We need to know if Miles Turner's in or out. That will obviously have a huge impact on Jalen Smith's output. Jalen Smith had himself a fantastic game the other night. But if Miles Turner's back in the lineup, I don't like Jalen Smith quite as much. So I'm pumping the brakes, and I would suggest and advise that you pump the brakes on Jalen Smith too. Wait for some Miles Turner news to come out. But in the meantime, we can talk about Donovan Mitchell, and we can talk about Nick Clarkson of the Brooklyn Nets. So let's head over to the fantasy score section of Prize Picks. Fantasy score is pretty cool. If you guys don't know how to play fantasy score or what fantasy score means, it's a combination of points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals, and you got to account for the turnovers too. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell so far at 45.5 fantasy score has gone over in 3 straight games, 49.9, 53.8, and 55 against Washington. Now that game did go into overtime, so I'm sure that inflated that number up to 55 just a little bit, but nonetheless, 3 for his last 3 games in which he has gone over. So we did this yesterday. We talked about this a little bit. Like, how can I get a better read on fantasy score? Well, we know that the lines makers on these sports books are pretty damn sharp, right? The Vegas lines makers, the ones who are setting the points, the rebounds, the assists, the blocks, the steals, those guys are sharp. They're good at what they do. We can all agree on that. It's hard to beat the books. So one thing that you could do to kind of build your own projection for a player is look at how those lines are set on these sports books individually. All right. So we did this yesterday for a guy like Isaiah Stewart. We're going to do it again for a guy like Donovan Mitchell tonight. So we see that on most sports books, on most sites, right, his points prop is set at 28.5. Now at 28.5, the betting public, who, for what it's worth, they're not always right, but they are betting the over here at 28.5, which means they think he's going to go for at least 29 points against the Orlando Magic tonight, maybe even more. Now, Fantasy Labs, they have their own projections here. They have him projected for 27.6. They think he's going to come in a little bit short of 28 or even 29 points. But let's just use the sportsbook line here at 28.5, and the fact that he's a slight betting favorite to go over implies that maybe he's good for 29 points tonight, right? So we'll start there, 29 points. We're going to go from the points to the rebounds. His rebounds are set at 4.5 on all the books. Now this one's a little tougher because some sites he's a betting favorite to go over at 4.5. Some sites a betting favorite to go under at 4.5. Now I'm going to go with what the consensus is saying here. And it looks like most sites or the stronger odds are going to be on the under at 4.5 rebounds. So we're going to mark him down for 4 boards. So we got 29 points. We got 4 boards. For the assists, you get 1.5 fantasy score for every assist that this guy drops. He's at 6.5 on the books. At 6.5, huge odds. Big betting favorite to go over 6.5. They think he's going to have at least 7 assists tonight against the Orlando Magic. No Darius Garland, I could definitely see it happening. So he's a minus 150 betting favorite on a site like BetMGM to go for more than 6.5. So let's mark him down for 7 assists. Let's call it 7 dimes. And that kind of correlates well with his 6.6 assist projection. Now from there, we got to look at blocks and steals. Those are worth 3 points apiece. Very valuable. If you can get a guy in your lineups, whether you play on DraftKings, FanDuel for daily fantasy sports, or here on PrizePicks, you get 3 points for every block and for every steal. So if you could get a player like an Anthony Davis or like Ivica Zubac last night, had 7 blocks, those are worth 3 points apiece. You could really run the fantasy score up pretty high. So looking at his blocks, he is a minus 340 betting favorite to have 0 blocks, to have less than 0.5. So they don't think he's going to have a block. So that's a goose egg for blocks. But I'm sure he's going to have at least 1 steal, right? Against a young Orlando Magic team, probably prone to turnovers, making mistakes. So Donovan Mitchell's steals are set at 1.5, but they are betting the under on 1.5, minus 130 to go under. So we're going to mark him down for 1 steal, right? So if you're keeping track, we got 29 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal so far for Donovan Mitchell. But we need to account for turnovers because this guy will turn the basketball over tonight. How many times? We don't know. But what we can do is pull a projection up. for Donovan Mitchell. Actually, rather than using a projection, let's do it a little different today. Let's just go to his turnovers and take a look at how many he's had per game to start the season out. All right, 3, 4, 6. So that's a total of 13. That's about 4 turnovers per game on average. Let's just mark them down for 4 turnovers. That would be minus 4 points for each turnover. So let's pull a calculator up. Let's run these numbers real quick. We already know he's at 29 points. For every point you score, you get a point of fantasy score. All right. For 4 rebounds, you're going to get 1.2 fantasy score for every rebound. So that's 4.8. 4.8 just for the rebounds. And then we're talking 7 assists, right? 7, and we'll go times 1.5. You get a little bit more for an assist than you do a rebound. So he's at 10.5 when it comes to his assists. We talked about him having at least 1 steal, according to the way people are betting this up. So that brings us to, let's add it all together here, 29 points plus 4.8 for the rebounds plus 10.5 for the assists plus 3 for the 1 steal. That brings us to 47.3 fantasy score. But now we have to account for the potentially 4 turnovers, right? Average is about 4 per game. So we take those away, he's going to end up with 43.3 fantasy score. It's going to be close, guys. It's going to be close. So that's our own little projections that we made, just kind of based on the action, right? And you can do this yourself. I just showed you how to do that step for step and how things are, how you accumulate fantasy score points. So let's look at Fantasy Labs and see what their fantasy projection is. They got him at 42.1 fantasy score tonight. So we kind of came up with our own projection of 43.3. Fantasy Labs, they have a projection of 42.1. In both cases, less than 45.5 fantasy score. Not a perfect science, guys, but I'm showing you how you can kind of come up with your own fantasy projections and compare them to PrizePicks. So in this case, it looks like he's going to go under, okay, on both of them. So hopefully you found that helpful. I'm going to save some time and just quickly pull up Nick Claxton here using Fantasy Labs. Projection for Nick Claxton, 30.1 fantasy score. All right. And he is at 29.5 according to PrizePicks. So slightly more at 30.1 versus the 29.5. And then you can kind of take this a step further. You can look at something like DVP. In this case, Claxton's going to be playing center, right, for the Brooklyn Nets. He's going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. So you scroll down here, you take a look at the Milwaukee Bucks. They're giving up about 50 fantasy score per game in this early stages of the season. So, I mean, there's some upside here for Nick Claxton to hit the over once again, going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. So there you go. So wait on Jalen Smith until we get some Miles Turner news. Maybe you take the over on Claxton, but maybe Donovan Mitchell falls a little bit short tonight. Again, not a perfect science, but that's one way that you can kind of do the numbers. So appreciate the super chat. Hopefully you felt like, you got your money's worth out of that. Let's get to some other questions here. I see you guys saying, Davion saying that Donovan Mitchell has been hooping. He absolutely has. I agree. No doubt. He has been hooping. So, yeah, it could feel a little funny going under on a guy's fantasy score when he's going up against the Orlando Magic. And the Magic are giving up a pretty healthy number of fantasy score, right? 42.5 per game. It's actually not as bad as I thought. They're kind of down toward the bottom of the league so far. 42.5. Donovan Mitchell shooting guards are getting more. 48.7. That's second highest, just behind the Houston Rockets. So there you go. Captain Kirk says, I'm new to this. What does fade mean? Fade means you're going to leave it alone. You're not going to touch it. You're not going to take it for more. You're not going to take it for less. You're not going to take it at all. It means you're just going to walk away. All right? That's what fade means. Somebody says, I'm going to fade this pick. they mean I ain't going to touch it. I'm not taking it more. I'm not taking it less. I'm just walking away from it. Don't want nothing to do with it. Let's see. Kai Ramos says, "Hey CJ, do you do any first half player props?" Yes, I do. I did Grayson Allen last game, and he ended up coming through clutch. But I don't know if they're going to give us Grayson Allen's first half fantasy score again. We could take a look at some first half fantasy. They did give it to us. He's at 10.5 today, though. Had 10.4, 9.2 in the first two games. So he fell short in both games. But he's going against Brooklyn tonight. So I think he could be a potential candidate, maybe, if you wanted to take the over or take Grayson Allen for more than 10.5 fantasy score. Here's what you can do. You can use StatMuse to help you with this. You go Grayson Allen, first half. Make sure you use the word FanDuel points without Chris Middleton logs. Hit enter, and then it'll give you an idea how many fantasy points in the first half that Grayson Allen's been scoring with Chris Middleton off the floor. You can see it's been kind of a struggle, right? He's at 10.5 today. He's just one for his last three. One for his last three. This is dating back to last season. All right. So actually, if you go and include the first couple, he's just one for his last five without Chris Middleton. Now, he does have some games in there, 12.3, 13.4. Those are good for the over. 17.2, 24.2, 32, 13.2. So you could kind of get an idea of how to do a little bit of research, a little bit of a deeper dive on a first half fantasy score by using StatMuse. So it's your boy T23 says, "Hey CJ, so who are your top picks today?" Well, I mean, I can't say that I have a full list of top picks just yet. I'm going to be doing some more digging after I get off of the show here, but we already locked in a little entry here, and you guys are welcome to tail this if you want. If you want to fade it, that's okay. It's your money. You do what you want with it. Jeremy Grant for less than 16.5 points. Jordan Clarkson for more than 22.5 points and assists. Trey Young for more than 34.5 points and assists. And Grayson Allen for more than 12.5 points. Full game points. Those are just a few that we've talked about. We're waiting for more picks to be added to the PrizePicks board, but those are just some ways you could go early on. All right. Abe says, "Did I miss out on a lot of the show?" You missed a good chunk of information, Abe. It's been quite an adventure this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. But, you can catch the replay. And by the way, guys, in case you are just getting here, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you like. And once the replay goes live, right? Once I'm done here, they'll post a replay of today's live show. If you want a chance to win a free 2-pick to win $100 on PrizePicks, comment once this goes live, the replay goes up. Leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you've liked today's video. Comment your favorite pick of the day down in the comment section below, because you never know. Your comment, your favorite pick might end up leading somebody to a winning pick and winning some money on PrizePicks. So what I'm going to do is you're going to leave a comment once the replay goes up on YouTube of today's show. Your favorite pick. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and all that other fun stuff. And then I'll pick one of you guys randomly for a risk-free 2-pick power play to score $100 on PrizePicks. All right. Shout out to PrizePicks sponsoring the show. Appreciate all the new subs. We're about at the 1 hour mark. I try to keep this at an hour or less every day. I don't want these to be too long or to go too far. But let me take a look here. Luis Quinones wants to know, which one is your favorite of the 4 plays? Which one is your favorite of the 4 plays? My single favorite is probably Trey Young at 34.5 points plus assists. Would probably be my single favorite one based on what I saw. He's been killing it. Points plus assists versus Detroit. I like it. All right. Because you know how Trey Young is, right? Sometimes Trey Young could go out there and have 7 or 8 assists, and he would fall short at 9.5. But usually when he's just got 7 or 8 assists, he's got like 30 points. So against Detroit, I could see him going for a pretty big output today in points and assists. So appreciate the new subs. Daddy Chill. Bharath Kumar. Thank you for subscribing. But yeah, let's take like maybe one more question here. One more question. Kellen, appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Abe, thanks for the sub. Yeah, Richard, Tyler Hero for first half anything has been very good lately. I don't mind anybody going back to that. Richard says, why are we not talking about Isaiah Stewart's first half points? I mean, we can. That could definitely be a move. He's been doing very well with that number. He is on a back-to-back, so that is a little bit concerning. Maybe not the matchup he had last night. You know, he's going up against John Collins and Clint Capella. So maybe there's a little trouble for Beef Stew. Looking for a good one here. I want to end it on a high note. I'm looking for a good one. I'm just digging through, looking at your comments here. Jokic over rebounds. Jokic is due for a bounce back. I told you guys, Jokic versus Nurkic. Jokic is a different player when he plays against Yusuf Nurkic. Davion wants to know, you think Dame stays on his heater? Man, it's, at some point, you got to expect he's going to come crashing down to earth, right? At some point, he's got to come crashing back down to earth. I don't know, man. But so far, yeah, Dame's been on fire. I took the under on Jeremy Grant's points tonight against the tough Miami Heat squad. So we'll see what happens. Nurkic rebounds, Bam over PRA. Gosh, which one should we talk about? Those sound like two interesting ones. Let's look at both of them real quick. Jokic or Nurkic? Jokic rebounds. Okay, see, I'm getting them confused now. Jokic rebounds or Bam over PRA. A couple of you guys are asking about Bam PRA. Let's just go with that one. We'll go with Bam Adebayo's PRA. And if you guys have any like last minute questions, you want to throw a super chat out there, I'd be happy to stick around a little bit longer. But otherwise, this will be the last one we talk about today. Bam Adebayo's 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's going up against Portland tonight, which means Yusuf Nurkic, Jeremy Grant is the front court starters for the Portland Trail Blazers. He's covered this in just one game, 32 against Boston. That was the only time he covered this. Let's back it up here. Let's take a look at the PRA for Big Bam Adebayo. Still trying to figure things out. I thought we were going to get a more determined, more aggressive Bam Adebayo, but that is yet to really come into fruition so far. But to start the season, he's at 27.5, so we got to make sure we bump that up using props.cash. This was from last season, so we've got 4 games to look at so far. 23, 32, 18, and 27. Not all that inspiring, guys. 23, 32, 18, and 27. He's gone over once against the Boston Celtics with 32 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, his minutes been pretty good. 34 to 37 minutes. Right? Somewhere around 35, 36 minutes per game. His field goal attempts are all over the place. 15, 11, 6, and 14. We'd like him to stay at around 15 field goal attempts. But with Tyler Hero out there doing his thing, I don't know if he's going to be a high scorer this season. His season high is 19 points. He had that against Boston. 12, 10, and 14. He's going to have to score more than 12, 10, or 14 to hit this PRA, guys. His rebounds, 9, 8, 7, and 10. Hit double-digit rebounds once. Unfortunately, didn't have enough points to push him over today's 27.5 PRA number. 5 assists has been a season high. I don't know, man. This is just screaming inconsistency to me. I mean, I could see why you guys maybe are liking it, why you could be on it. Let's just go look at the Portland Trail Blazers real quick and see how many points, rebounds, and assists they're giving up to the center position. Portland giving up about 25 points per game, about 8.5 rebounds, and about 4 assists. It's a pretty good number. It's really just a matter of which Bam Adebayo will be getting tonight. But they're giving up well over, 30 PRA per game, 35 PRA per game or so to opposing big men. So, I mean, the opportunities should be there. I think it's more about the guy taking advantage of the opportunities. But he is at 27.5, which is a low number, especially when you compare to some of these sports books. He's at 28.5 on a site like FanDuel for PRA. He's at 26.5, though, on a site like DraftKings. If we had him at 26.5, I would do like the betting public is doing and smash the over at 26.5. But we're getting him at 27.5. So it's a little trickier number, right? But he is projected for a healthy 32 points, rebounds, and assists. For me, probably a fade. I just don't trust this guy. Like Pyramid 1 HP is saying, he's lost too many bets on Bam Adebayo this early in the season. Dude's a wild card. I could not have said it better myself. And on that note, gang, I got to get out of here. We're over our 1 hour runtime. It's been fun. Hit the replay and leave your comment for your favorite pick of the day. Make sure you're subscribed and like, and you'll be entered in for a chance to win a risk-free 2-pick power play to score $100 on PrizePicks. Appreciate all the support. Good luck tonight. If you're in Patreon, we'll see you there. We'll talk more NBA props there. Good luck, everyone.